You may sometimes hear the term data cleanup and wonder exactly what it means. It means that sometimes you'll have to work with spreadsheet data that has errors or is not formatted in the way that you'd like. In this walkthrough, I'm going to create an Excel spreadsheet of the Seattle Seahawks roster using a table from the team's website. This is probably not a business use that many of you will have, but I hope it will serve as a fun illustration of how to take external data, format, and organize in a way that is most useful to you. So, to start out, I have the Seahawks roster open in my browser, and I have a blank Excel spreadsheet. So let's go to the roster page, and I see right away there's a printable roster here. That's probably where we want to get our information from. It's the cleanest way. There's not a whole lot of ads in the way and that type of thing. So it's right here on the screen. So let's start with just a basic copy and paste. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag over the entire roster, and I'm going to do Control-C for copy, or however you usually copy, whether it's to the menu or through Control-C, or right-click and say copy. In any event, I'm going to take it and just do a straight paste into an Excel spreadsheet. Now I have a couple of options here. I can keep the source formatting. This will keep it like it is on the website. It will try to recreate the website on the page. Or I can match destination formatting. This will match the format to the existing Excel spreadsheet instead of the way it is on the website. Now you can see both of these present problems. If I say keep source formatting, I'm not going to click on this. I'm just going to kind of go back and forth without actually pasting the data, because if I keep the source formatting, you see it has all the pictures, and I'm going to assume we probably don't want the pictures. But look at I want to point out also, and maybe I'll just do the paste. There's another problem here, which you might notice with the height column. Let's just take one of the names on here. Doug Baldwin has a height of May 10th. How could he have a height of May 10th? That doesn't make sense. Well, if we go to the Home tab, we see General. General is basically Excel is going to take data and interpret it to whatever data type it sees fit. So if we go back to the original page, how are the heights expressed? Well, 6-3. 5-10. Well, if I paste this into Excel in general, Excel's going to take 5-10 and it's going to interpret it as May 10th. So there's a little bit of a problem. And we also would have had that problem if we had kept source formatting. If you notice, that had the same issues. So let's do this a little differently. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to open up a new sheet just to start off clean here. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to highlight all the data, and I'm going to change general to text. So it will take everything that I paste and interpret it just exactly the way it says. So 5-10 should come out as 5-10. It's not going to, Excel's not going to try to interpret, well, 5-10, you must really mean May 10th. No, it's not going to do that. It's going to do a literal paste. So let's see. If I still have it in memory, paste special. Okay, whether it's destination or source formatting, now you the source formatting still has the date because it's still trying to literally interpret the website, but the destination formatting, because the destination is set as text, now you see it puts the heights in literally. Now the slight problem here is in the player column. Well, we have kind of a mess here. And sometimes when you go to a website and you hover over a picture, you'll get a little text, what we call the alt text in a website, meaning that that's the text that will be displayed if for some reason you have an old browser that doesn't support pictures. So this doesn't really do us any good. If I paste the source formatting, and I'm being very careful to keep to not sort anything. I'm going to paste both the source and destination formatting. Now I have the names. The names are hidden behind the pictures. We're going to have to remove that. But we have the height data, which is correct format. The only thing we need to do is replace this column with the actual names. Now it's still going to paste in the pictures, and again, different browsers are going to do this different ways. So if you know, I'm using Google Chrome here. If you're using Safari or Firefox or Internet Explorer, you know, or different types of websites are going to interpret this are going to be slightly different. This one happens to paste the pictures in, and the pictures in Excel, the picture is just basically stored on top. It's not really part of the spreadsheet at all. It's just kind of floating on top of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove all the pictures so we're left with just the names. Okay, so it's a long process. Yeah, there's going to be some manual process to this. For those of you who are curious, I'm making this video in mid-April, so it's just before the 2019 draft. So it's a good thing I didn't wait till the preseason, or I'd have 90 pictures to cut out here. That would be just horrible. Okay, so what can I do now? Well, I can take the player data and I could just transfer this, because everything else is okay. All the other data columns are okay. The height is correct here. The height is not correct here. Well, it's correct, but it's interpreted as dates. So I'm going to just take this. I'm going to copy and paste just the values. And there we go. So now we have the player, the number, the position, height, weight, age, experience, and college. So I can get rid of this. Don't need this anymore. Okay, there is some missing data here, but well, you know, it looks good. Basically, we have the information we need. I want to do a few more things to make this more useful. One of the things we could do is make this into a table, or at least give the ability to sort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this first row, and I'm going to select filter. What this does is it puts little drop-down boxes among all of these. So if I want to sort by jersey number, I can click sort A to Z. Oh, now A to Z. Now you may say, well, but wait a second, but those are numbers. Why is it A to Z? Like, I mean, I can sort this A to Z, but now it's going by first name. I might want to go by last name. Weights, I can, let's say I want to search. And notice it's still treating this as text. That's a downside of pasting as text. It's putting the weights not as numbers, but as text. So there's no greater than or less than. I mean, it does not equal, begins with, if I take this and sort it, it says sort Z to A, which happens to be, because even in the alphabet, 3 comes after 2 comes after 1. So it still happens to, it looks like it's sorting by actual weight, but it's really treating these as text strings. So I want to make a few changes here. Now that I have the data pasted the way I want it, I'm going to take the weight column and the age column and the jersey number column, oh, and the experience column. These are numbers. I want Excel to treat these as numbers, not just as the text. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to change the data type here to number. So now these have all been converted to numbers. Now you see they're decimal places because Excel puts in decimal places automatically. Incidentally, there was one of the experience that was an R for rookie, I assume. I had to change that to 0, or else it wouldn't, obviously you can't convert R to a number. So I'll just finish by removing some of the decimal places here. We don't need fractions of an age. We don't need fractions of experience. Okay, so now this has a number. So now you see it says sort largest to smallest instead of A to Z. So Excel is now treating these as numbers. One other thing is the names. Now, the names are stored first name, last name, but suppose you want to separate first name, last name. Well, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to select this. I'm going to go to text to columns. First, I'm going to make a little extra room here because it's going to expand these, and I don't want it to overwrite any of the other text. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say text to columns. And I'm going to go through this a little fast. Again, this is not intended to be a full tutorial here. In other words, I'm going to say every time you see a space or a tab, you are to make that a new column. It won't be perfect, but as you'll see why, because sometimes if the last name has two separate words in it, text, not date. But you see, it did a pretty good job of that. I'm not going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb, but it looks like we did get separated into first and last name, so that's good. So I'm just going to change this column to first name, and this one to last name. This one to jersey number, and that's pretty much as far as I'm going to go here. We can check height. Height is still going to be A to Z. Not much we could really do about that. If we wanted to, we could convert these to inches. That's a little, but not going to do that here. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we could make this pretty by changing it, by making this thing into a table, insert, and then we can choose all sorts of formats for our table. But you see, we have now something we can search, something we can sort. If I want to sort by position, well, that's one other thing. Now, sometimes you see sites, suppose you want, quarterbacks, then running backs, then wide receivers. If we really want to make this fancy, I'm not going to do sort A to Z or Z to A for position. I'm going to sort by color. That allows me to do a custom sort, position, and I can make this a custom list. In fact, as a matter of fact, I already have one made up in here. So order, instead of A to Z or Z to A, it's going to look for QB, then RB, then halfback, then fullback. So press, and there we have it sorted. Now, it's not perfect because there are some entries here that aren't in that sorted list. So center guard, guard tackle, those are not entries in my order in my order possibility, so those are just going to automatically get shifted to the end, and they're still in alphabetical order. All right, so hopefully my goal here was to just give you an idea, whether you're a sports fan or not, or whatever type of business you're in, just to give you an idea of what data cleanup means and how we could do these types of things in Excel. I could even take this and import it into an Access database if you needed to work with the data further. Okay, well, that's one example of data cleanup, and thank you for watching.